6. Oh. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another week and another new build in the beta. Today, we're going to go over the Shaman changes that just was announced in the latest update of the beta for October 28th. I was going to say we only have so many weeks left, but we don't know when the release date is yet of Shadowlands. But let's go over the changes that they've just put in. And yes, some of you Windfury fans are going to be a little sad. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And if you haven't subbed to the channel yet, and I know 70% haven't yet, definitely think about hitting that sub button, hit that like button, as we're going to keep on coming out with Shaman news and other class news as we keep on getting ready for Shadowlands. So let's go ahead and jump right into the changes, and then we're going to be testing them out in-game. Number 1, Elemental. Elemental Shaman. Okay, we knew this was coming. This is your Flame Shock damage over time has a, now down from 20%, 15% chance to proc Lava Surge for Lava Burst. That's on Resto. On Ellie and on Enhanced, that's super weird. But on Ellie, Flame Shock has a 10% chance. So we lost that 5% chance. We'll see how that affects us. I mean, there's not really a good way to test how that feels unless I were to go Ellie, I guess, and just put it on 3 targets and see the procs over like a minute or 5 minutes. But it is just that 5%. A little unfortunate but you got to remember, Lava Burst is now our main damage dealer. So maybe they're thinking that we're using too many of them, or I'm not really sure, but this is definitely a sad thing to see, especially because Lava Burst is hitting so hard for Ellie specifically. Now, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Elemental Equilibrium. This was such an interesting legendary before this change. It says dealing direct fire damage increases the damage of your next frost spell by 30%. Dealing frost damage does buffs your next nature. Nature buffs your next fire. So it's this circle. And it was actually pretty cool if you use the Ice Fury and Echo of the Elements and things like that. And we did this on stream a bunch of times and tested it. Now, I did mention when I was using it in that form, it didn't feel that satisfying. Like, I didn't know when, I knew when I was using certain buffs and I had a weak aura for it and all that stuff. But in reality, it didn't feel like it was changing my play style too much. But they've changed it. Dealing direct fire damage, frost damage, and nature damage within 10 seconds. So you have to do fire, frost, nature. Increases all damage dealt by 15% for 10 seconds. This can only occur every 30 seconds. Okay, so I can Lava Burst, Frost Shock, Earth Shock, all within 10 seconds, similar to the Feral Blood Talons, it almost feels like. Then you'll get that buff for 10 seconds, increasing all damage by 15%. Okay, so again, it's not going to change your playstyle too much. It will push you to using those 3 schools within 10 seconds, but in reality, it kind of feels like a nerf to me. When this was the case, even as Ellie or even as Enhanced, we were able to keep those buffs up a lot. Like, everything we were doing was proccing these different schools. So we'll have to see if this actually has that similar type of effect. So jumping into in-game, I'm going to try proccing it on an Enhanced Shaman. So I'm going to use a Nature School. I'm going to use Lightning Bolt. I'm going to use Lava Lash, which is fire, and then I'm going to use Frost. Okay, it does give me the buff by 15%. So it is still possible to use this on Enhanced. We'll have to think about how we could use it on Enhanced, because increasing all damage by 15%, that's a lot of percentile. It's 15 of them. But how would we proc it? We'd have to use Frost, Nature, Fire. And you have to remember Frost Shock, Flame Shock are still on a shared cooldown, which is pretty outrageous. We'll have a different video about that. But yeah, so it is possible to still proc it on Enhanced. Now, it won't probably be as valuable as it used to be. Let's go ahead and switch over to Ellie, where this is definitely one where I could see this being something that is at least used. It looks like numerically it could be pretty decent. So here I can put Flame Shock up. That's fire. I could use a Lightning Bolt. And then I could use Ice Fury. I'm going to get the proc right now. Right, there you go. So now I have the 15% increased damage. Okay. I mean, how do we feel about that? I don't know. Just the overall increased damage for 10 seconds. 10 seconds I'll be able to get out like 5 casts max. Maybe 6, 7 globals if I have instants. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this change? I know there's going to be some disappointed people out there. The whole using a different school procs a different school, that was a very cool weaving playstyle, which I know Ellie has had with when Ice Fury is in the picture. So let me know down in the comments what you think about that. Let's go ahead and go back to the changes. That's a big one. I know a lot of people are going to be really sad about that. A lot of people are very excited about the way this other one was used. This also knocks it off from being really possible to use on a Resto. Obviously, it'll be possible even on Enhanced, but it makes it seem like it's going to be a lot harder to get that increased damage. But we'll see. I don't think it... I mean, if you look at all the damage percentiles before, it was like buffing you by 30%, 25, 20. That's huge. Now it's buffing you by 15. So it's like, meh, I don't know. Next up, we'll go to Enhancement. Enhancement Shaman has had some changes, and I know you guys probably knew it was coming, and I probably knew it was coming. We didn't put in our opinion, we didn't throw our hat in the ring here, but basically, Windfury weapon was nerfed in the amount of attack power it's doing. It did go, it is still more than it was. It used to be like 10, 11, 12%. Now it's at 24, so at least they reduced this the scaling from 32 to 24. So it's still higher than it was, but I'm disappointed to see that they changed it. I wanted to see them only nerf the legendary. But if we go now and we look, Doom Winds also nerfed. This was when you were dropping Windfury Totem. It grants you a 100% chance to gain Windfury weapon and increases your Windfury damage by a 100%. This is now 25%, and we're not that happy about that. I really think that this kills this, but we haven't tested it yet. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and put the legendary on. It's on. I'm looking pretty festive, honestly. Let's go. Let's go ahead and just see what it hits. Let's see what the numbers look like, okay? Let's see what the numbers look like. Now I'm going to pull out my damage log here. All right, so before, Windfury was hitting for about as much as melee hits, okay? And I still have Forceful Winds on, so we'll see how that affects things, right? So I can't drop my Windfury Totem yet because that's going to proc it, and I do think that's kind of a weird design in itself, but let's go ahead, and we haven't even got a single Windfury proc yet. We're waiting for it to happen. There it is. All right, that was with I think that was 5 stacks of Forceful Winds. So it hit for 500. My melee hits are still hitting for 500, so okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. If I look again, if I have like no Forceful Winds and I get a Windfury proc, let's see what we're at here. Again, we're just waiting to see when it procs. Storm Strikes usually proc them. There it is again. That was with, I think, 1 or 0 stacks. Okay, so my melees are hitting for 470. My Windfuries are hitting for 390 with it 1 stack or 0 stack. Okay, I mean, okay, it's not the worst. Those numbers aren't looking terrible, but we'll see. I will show you. I'll also have this, which is my ability, my conduit in my Soulbind, which Windfury has a 24% chance to proc a 3rd Windfury. So you can see that if we hit this long enough. But okay, so that doesn't hurt my feelings that bad. I mean, it was more, but with Forceful Winds now, it's, you know, this could still ramp it up pretty good. Now let's go ahead and use the legendary Doom Winds. Let's see what we get to. Ready? I'm gonna use Bloodlust as well. Let's make it exaggerated. Here we go. There we go. We got Windfury. He's gonna proc 100% of the time here. Okay, I need some resets, please. And we'll look at the damage. We got 5 stacks of Forceful Winds up. We do love to see it. There it is. There it is. Let's go ahead and check the numbers. Before we were hitting for absurd. I mean, still, it's looking pretty nice. It's looking pretty nice. Now, this is with the legendary helmet on. Keep that in mind. Remember, they were hitting for like 400s before. Now, if I look when I had max 5 stacks of Forceful Winds, I'm still hitting, I'm getting for Windfury attacks for 1.1k each. That's not bad. That's not a crit. If that crit, it would be 2k. If we look here, the Windfury did crit 11 times. Wow, okay. And it pumped out, it was, the highest crit was 2.3k. That's still pretty good. 2.3k is about... that's almost 10% of someone's health. So that's a big chunker right there. So the totem may still act like a big damage proc. We'll have to test it in PvP. In PvE, this was just outrageous. If you were watching any of the streams, outrageous how much damage. Windfury is doing like 60-80% of our damage. So we kind of knew that it was going to get scaled down. But so far, I'm really bummed to see that they nerfed it on the weapon, though. I do not like that they nerfed it on the Windfury weapon. I wish they would have taken it all from the legendary. But to be honest, it might still be okay. Having it proc 100% of the time with the legendary does help us in a sense that it makes it so our Forceful Wind stacks go up to 5 and they stay at 5. So let's go ahead and use it again. We're going to use it again here. You're going to see my Forceful Wind stacks are going to get to 5 very quickly. There they go. I'm hitting for 1.1Ks. You know, I'm hitting for 1.1s. Let's see if I can get a crit here. Not seeing a crit pop up. Okay, there it is, a 2.3k crit, and it hit 3 times total. That's a lot of times of hitting of Windfury. Hit it 4 times. So that one Windfury proc hit for 2.3. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5k damage. That's still a lot of damage. It just might not be outrageous now, but yeah. So it still looks like I was saying that maybe this would be a dead legendary, but honestly, maybe it's not. Especially because a lot of people have been saying that we need more single target damage. And I personally think that there's only a few things I would tweak about Enhanced Shaman, but it is good to see that Windfury still may be in the fold. I was super excited and I was giddy last video, not giddy this time. The nerf is, I mean, I kind of saw it coming, and I think you probably did too. We weren't able to test it or take advantage of the the insane Windfury in PvP because the arenas were bugged. But, you know, let me know what you guys think. Like, look at these numbers. Let me know what you think. I mean, honestly, you know, it's tough for me to really call it. You guys call it. This still is doing a lot of damage on its top end. 2.3k crits is not shabby. Now let's go ahead and let's just melee the target. Let's see what we get to damage-wise here without using the legendary. If I was to use something else like the Frost Witch, which is one I haven't gotten a test yet, but we're going to test that probably tonight on the stream. Definitely come by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/Tiqqle this. We're going to go ahead and see what our Windfuries are proccing for now, just without anything. You can tell my forceful winds are not stacking up much, and it is really a sad talent, to be honest. All right, Windfury attack's now doing about 10% of my overall DPS. Okay. Okay. 10% is better than 2%, which is what it was before. But, you know, I kind of wish that the procs here were going to be pretty big. Let's see what they're at. They're hitting for like 1k as on the high-end crits. And that's because I can't... Oh, Forceful Winds is actually up pretty high right now. Let's try to get a big run. It's going up. It's good to see. Yep, 1Ks, though. No crits. Unfortunate. All right, it is what it is. 1k is not bad, though, for a melee proc on top of a proc. So a melee hit was for 500, then we got another crit for 1k. It means our melee is going to do quite a bit. Now, that's that. That's all we're going to say about that. There's a lot of things for us to test now because we got to get into the next part, which is a very interesting one. But let me know down what you think down below. Do you think this ends the Enhanced Shaman Windfury dream? Put it down in the comments or definitely come by the stream and let's talk about it. Next one. This is one I'm very excited about. We actually specifically said this. I'm actually so excited to see these changes. It was just, this is casting an ability procs Ascendance for all 3 specs. This is one that people thought off the bat, maybe this would be a really good one across all the specs. But when we tested it out, we saw that the procs weren't really happening at a same rate or kind of feeling like they happened as often per spec. Specifically, Ellie felt kind of like it happened the most. Enhanced felt like it happened the least, and Riptide was kind of like, what? It was like kind of all over the place. Because Riptide is obviously something you're spamming, but you might not always be using it. Lava Burst has gone up even more in proc rate to 7%. Riptide is 7% chance to proc Ascendance. We like these things. Procking Ascendance is would be a very fun way to play. It's like, it's all the Shaman specs. Something happens and then, boom, oh, you get excited. Like that is the quintessential Shaman. Something happens, you get procs. It's like such a proc and fun kind of a reactionary class. Now that doesn't necessarily help it in PvP all the time, but it is what it is. Now let's go ahead and test it. Let's start with Enhanced. This is the one that was the most disappointing before, where our Storm Strikes, it felt a little bit sad, honestly. It didn't feel like it procced Ascendance very much. So let's go ahead and put it on, and let's see what we can do. And we'll leave our damage log open here. I know some people are saying you can use details, but we'll just put it here because it's a little bit easier. So let's just go ahead and we'll do our normal rotation. I'm actually interested to see, sorry, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we've done 4 Storm Strikes so far. We're going to count up. I'm just going to keep counting until we get a proc. 5, 6. Oh, yes. Yes. 6. Now, I don't know if those Wind Strikes count. And it didn't put Ascendance on cooldown. That's insane. That's so good for us. Before, what was happening was when Ascendance was proccing, it was putting our 3-minute cooldown on cooldown. And that felt terrible, especially for Enhanced Shaman. So, okay, so it took me 6 to get a proc. All right, 2, 3. Let's see if we can do it again in 6. That's hilarious. I know I could probably clip the video, but, you know, let's just live our lives together, okay, chat? What you're getting. Okay, there we got it. Huh, we got it again. I'm trying to see if that number resets, but it's not. Okay. You know, it is what it is. We got 2 procs in almost 50 attempts. That makes it almost a 4% proc rate, not an 8% proc rate. Obviously, we're not testing this for a statistically significant sample size. Oh, we got another one. Okay, we got 3 in that many casts. I think did my details reset? Nope. Oh, we got another one. Holy shit. Okay, another one back to back. We got another one back to back. Is Blizzard watching me right now? Oh my. Okay, so Wind Strike can proc it. Wind Strike can proc it. Okay, that was really neat when it did the back to back, but obviously we got a little unlucky there for quite some time. I don't know any way to round that out unless they give like bad luck forgiveness or something, but that's where it is. That back-to-back, Windfury can proc Windfury. That's nice to see. Now let's go ahead and swap over to Elemental. Let's see how often it procs there. Before, I actually felt like it procced pretty nice. Put it on 7% for 6 seconds. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see what we get here. We're going to go ahead and we'll count similarly here to see how many we get. We want to pop that Ascendance. Again, when we ascend on his Enhance, we're doing AoE damage. When we ascend on Ellie, we're going to be lava bursting all the targets that are you know, flame shocked. So that's the deal. Now I'm still just waiting to press just that one button. There we go. We got one proc. Not shabby, not shabby. You do love to see it. The good thing about this proc is I can always spam lava burst, and I think I don't know if it resets double stacks. No, it doesn't. When I go into it, but it definitely does give you that instant lava burst, which does feel pretty good. Now again, I mean, I'm not doing over a huge sample size, chat. You know, it is what it is. I'm just trying to give a good little tidbit in a 15-minute video, but it doesn't. I've procced it twice out of 17 lava bursts. And my proc rate is I can actually, maybe I can feel it, that I'm not getting as many procs with just 3 flame shocks out there. All right, there we go. A little bit of live testing for you. Now, all right, so we only got two procs, so. You know, the lava burst one seems good, but the thing is, I don't see where this will be really that much, that great unless you're doing your like Necrolord, you know, for example. But I don't know where this is really going to take place as a really big advantage. When we've tested this out in Mythic Pluses before, it just got this 2% proc rate increase. Didn't necessarily feel that great. Sometimes it would proc a lot, it would feel good. Sometimes it wouldn't. It would not feel good. You know, you would kind of think that it was good, but at the end of the, like, you know, when you get the procs, you remember them. But by the end of the run, you're like, damn, dude, I didn't do that. I didn't get that many procs. Like 3-4 procs in a dungeon is that really worth it compared to a legendary you can use every minute or something like that? Now let's go ahead. We're going to switch over to Resto. Resto is going to be pretty easy to tell. First Riptide. First Riptide. Okay. Wow, I'm getting pretty darn lucky here. Now, again, this is one where Riptide's on a similar cooldown. It's not like it's going to get refreshed by anything. So, you know, we're just going to have to keep spamming Riptide on ourselves. I do think this could be a pretty fun one as well. Like, the RNG nature of it means it could be fun if it procs enough, right? And so that's probably what Blizzard's doing in that tuning. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to just keep pressing this button over and over. You saw it proc. Hopefully, you know, we can test out in some dungeons to count how many procs we get over time, and I think that's probably the best way to test it. So with that being said, guys, that's the changes. I'm most excited about this Stormstrike procking one, though without testing it in a Mythic, it's going to be tough to really judge it. I also wonder if this is going to proc off of the cleaving now, because like we mentioned before, when you Storm Strike and then you Crash Lightning, then you Storm Strike, you would not proc this. You wouldn't have an extra chance to proc this like times the number of targets you're hitting. Maybe they changed that, probably not, but we'll have to test that out ourselves. If there is any undocumented changes, we'll find those out. We'll talk about them on stream, or I'll put it out somewhere over in Discord. You can join that link below. But I want to thank you guys for walking through these changes. I know it was a little bit longer of a video today, but I hope through this testing you get a flavor of what's going on. I know it was a little bit longer because of the chances, oh my God, I did it again. Because of us testing this Ascendance Legendary. But let me know what you think about these changes down below. Let me know what you think Ellie, Enhance, or Resto needs. I honestly think we need to see those Spirit Wolves change. We need to see Resto get Earth Living weapon back and some type of damage reduction cooldown instead of Surge of Earth. That video is coming out later. And Ellie really needs some help in the AoE department. Make, you know, other than just having Storm Ellie. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for the love. We'll see you in the next video or on the stream every night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank the Patreons and the Twitch subs. Thank you guys so much for the support and making this dream come true. Get ready for Shadowlands. It's coming in hot. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.